I am Jacqueline Kemp. I am the varsity 8 coxswain for the rowing team.
Jacqueline, been some very good results from your varsity 8. Last 2 weeks had competition with D1 schools. You beat LMU. Great race last week in the Husky Open with Portland. How have you felt about your crew so far?
I felt pretty good, honestly. We've definitely made some shifts in our training so far. I'm feeling pretty confident coming into the Crew Classic.
Times in rowing, there are different conditions and all, so they're not always something to go by, but twice you rowed on the Montlake course last year. Last Saturday when you rowed there, you were 30 seconds faster than you were last year in both times. This boat has gained speed. Why do you think that is, or how have you accomplished that?
I think honestly we've made some type of a mental shift, just a different mindset, knowing that we are right there with our competitors, and that we are somebody that they can be afraid of, and that we're making a name for ourselves.
Majority of the rowers in the boat are returning from last year's top crew. How much help is that added experience, and for you knowing what some of these rowers have?
Yeah, it's very helpful in some senses. Definitely everybody can constantly be improving. You're never a perfect rower, so just having some more experienced girls means that they can start improving on some more advanced technical concepts, which definitely adds to boat speed.
As a coxswain, does it alter the way you call a race, so to speak? Because now you're the front runner in most of these races this time, so maybe do you have to alter your race plan a bit to try and win some of these where you didn't know what position to be, or how does it impact you when you're calling the boat that's at the front or near the front?
Yeah, it definitely changes how I call things. Some of it is just spontaneous in the moment. That's my job, to make those tough calls of, if we need to take seats earlier in the piece or wait slightly longer. I have to be gauging all the time. I can know information ahead of time of who I think is going to jump out at the start, and who's going to fall back later in the piece, but ultimately it's the split-second decisions right in the middle of the race that matter.
Well, this weekend you'll have your hands full down at San Diego Crew Classic. It's Saturday and Sunday against a lot of crews you're not familiar with. How do you go and approach a race like that?
Honestly, we approach it like any other late season race. We approach it with all seriousness. There can't be any complacency. We can't assume anything, even if numbers say that we should be better than some of these teams. We have to assume that we need to put everything into our performance in order to get to that grand final and do well.
Last year you competed at the Crew Classic in a different event, a Division II, Division III event. Made the grand final and finished 4th. This year you're stepping up in class, and a lot more D1s in this. How will it help you as a coxswain being familiar now with that Mission Bay course?
Oh yes, definitely. It's the most unpredictable course that we race on. You have different tidal and wind shifts about every 300 meters down the course, and so you have to constantly be gauging for that and helping the rowers adjust to that so that the boat doesn't get thrown off set.
Great. What's going to be the key to success down here in San Diego?
Honestly, just approaching it like we are a force to be reckoned with, and showing those other teams what we are capable of, and making SPU a name that they're afraid of.
Well, your varsity 8 stand in San Diego. In Oregon will be 4 4s from your team. They're at the Covered Bridge Regatta. And the top 8 and the top 4 from each school factor into the NCAA qualifying, so that 4 needs to be good, and this year's sure has been. I know you don't get to pay as much attention to them because you at regattas, but what are your feelings in that crew improving so much?
Honestly, it's not a huge surprise, but we're all very, very proud of those 4s, and we think that they're going to accomplish great things down there.
Great. Just real quick, talk about yourself a little bit. Tell us where you're from.
I'm from Burien, Washington.
Great. And how did you get into rowing?
Actually, just at a freshman orientation involvement fair. I signed my name up freshman year.
Now that you have a little experience under your belt, how are you feeling? You feeling a lot more comfortable as directing the crew?
Yeah, there should never really be a sense of comfort when you're directing a top crew. There always has to be that bit of keeping yourself on your toes, but definitely more confident than I have been in the past years.
Great. And tell us what you're majoring in.
Communications.
Plans? You still have a couple years of college left, or one plus finish off this year. What are your plans after?
Hopefully getting a job right away, working as a technical writer.
Great. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it, and good luck down in San Diego.
Thank you.